Welcome to Afterlight Tales, where the world after dark reveals the stories daylight tries to hide. If you're ready for mysteries that blur the line between reality and the unknown, let's begin. Tonight's tale is The City That Sleeps Once a Year. Every mapmaker has a superstition. Some whisper about lost islands, others fear blank spaces. But the story that haunted Edward Rowan, a British urban geographer from Bristol, was about a city that appeared on no map at all. A place called Somnus Vale, a city that sleeps once a year, not its people, the entire city. And tonight was the night. Edward arrived just before dusk. The sun spilled amber light on narrow stone streets, water canals, and bridges shaped like crescent moons. It felt old, older than any settlement he had studied. But something was off. Shops were closing, lamps were dimming, doors were bolted from the inside. Every window carried the same symbol. A circle split into two halves. He approached a fisherman. "Sorry, mate, what's going on? Why is everyone barricading themselves in?" The fisherman whispered, "Because the city will sleep, and it dreams loudly." At midnight, an unnatural silence fell. The canals froze in perfect stillness. The air turned heavy. The ground began to hum. Then the city exhaled. Bridges straightened. Alleyways shifted. Buildings rearranged themselves like a puzzle realigning. Edward had studied tectonic drift, urban creep, and ancient settlement shifts. But this was urban plate tectonics, a city, reshaping itself like a living organism. He watched in disbelief as streets curved into spirals, stone floors slid like drifting continents, a watchtower sank while a fountain rose in its place. The city was alive. Then Edward realized something far more unsettling. The city wasn't sleeping, it was dreaming. And like every dream, it reflected fears, memories, regrets. The shifting buildings formed places he knew. The secondary school in Bristol, the flat he left behind, the street corner where he made the worst mistake of his life. Somnus Vale was mapping his mind. Every turn recreated a moment he avoided. Every alley was a memory made solid. "Why are you doing this?" he shouted. A whisper answered from the walls. "Cities remember what people forget." Edward followed the shifting streets to the city's heart, a massive circular plaza. In its center stood a stone dial marked, not with directions but emotions: fear, hope, regret, desire. The dial spun, slowed, stopped on regret. The city was asking for something, a choice. It offered Edward a glowing street leading out of Somnus Vale. But another street formed behind him, darker, descending deeper. The whisper came again: "You must leave what you carry, or carry what you cannot leave." He knew exactly what it meant. Edward reached into his coat and pulled out an old photograph, one tied to the mistake he never forgave himself for. He placed it onto the plaza floor. The moment it touched the stone, the city sighed, and everything stopped. Just before sunrise, Somnus Vale awoke. Buildings settled, streets straightened. People opened their doors as if nothing strange had happened. Edward walked out of the city changed. When he turned back, the crescent bridges, spiral streets, and shifting alleys were gone. The city had rearranged itself again, hiding its truth. Some say Edward returned to Britain and spent his life mapping forgotten places. Others say he never drew another map again. But Edward knew one thing: some cities live in geography, some cities live in history, but Somnus Vale lived in the mind. You've been listening to Afterlight Tales, where every mystery leaves a shadow behind. If this story lingered in your thoughts, subscribe and step with us into the dark again.